Welcome to another conversation with the Brothers of Two Complex. We appreciate y'all for clicking on this video, but before we get into the content, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these bangers that we drop every single week. We appreciate the support. God bless. So Simone Biles, her mom, Shannon Biles, has come out and has done a couple of interviews and has talked to some reporters about how she would love to have a better personal relationship with her Olympic gold medalist and now claim what now has been labeled as the GOAT of gymnastics, Simone Biles. And I don't necessarily know how I feel about this, bro, because you know me personally, you know my history, the relationship that I had with my mom. But it was nothing like this though. But I can kind of see it from a personal perspective a little bit because of how I was brought up. But I don't know how I feel about it. How you feel about Simone Biles' mom, Shannon Biles, coming out and saying that she wants to have a more personal relationship with her daughter now all of a sudden?
And that's the thing, right? Everybody's going to put that part into it all of a sudden, and rightfully so. But
yeah. We don't know the efforts prior to that.
Right.
I agree. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But all I'm saying is that's all you're going to see outside of the spins that it's getting right now from people like us, the regular Joe Schmoes is, all of a sudden now the mom wants to come because, and again, we don't know. But I'll say this. If I'm Simone, if I was to give Simone advice, I would never tell anybody how to feel about a situation. And for Simone, but if I was Simone, I would try to give my mom an opportunity. The reason I would try to give my mom an opportunity is because this situation is difficult, right? Her mother, when she had her and her sister, was a drug addict. She could have easily, now obviously, being a drug addict, she probably should have never had kids in the first place. At that point in her life. At that point in her life, I should say, she should probably have never had kids. But we all know drug addicts go through different things where unfortunate situations happen. Either they were streetwalkers or something happened to where they, just got caught up in a bad situation or whatever. And children came from that. But yeah, her mother was battling drug addiction, and because of that, she gave up Simone Biles. She put her in foster home, and luckily, her parents, Shannon's parents, went and adopted both Simone and her sister. I hope I say this right. Is it how you say her sister name?
I think it's Adria. Adria. Let me find it. Hold on. Let me find it.
It's Adria, I believe. I believe it is Harriet. But anyway, so they went and adopted her.
Adria.
Yes, Adria. Yeah. There you go, Adria. They went and adopted both of them, allowed them to have a normal childhood or as normal as they could. Put Simone in gymnastics. We now have Simone as we know her, Simone Biles, greatest Olympic gymnast of all time. But for her mother, man, it's like, she had kids probably when she shouldn't have, but she went ahead and had them. And she did the best she could. And when she realized she could not do the best for them, she gave them up. She put them in foster home. And then, like I said, the grandparents came and picked them up. And now that feels like she's in a spot in life to where she wants to, she may be clean now, or she may want to just tie up loose ends in her life and have a relationship with her children. I don't see why she should be penalized for that. Now, like I said, I'll never tell anybody how to feel about a certain situation, especially when I don't know all the details. But if Simone wants to reconcile with her mother, she definitely should. And all of a sudden now her mom comes in. That's because people think that she wants something from her daughter. And if she does, okay. But we've said this multiple times. Simone doesn't owe her anything. Children don't owe their parents anything. Now those that make it end up providing for their parents because they're thankful for the sacrifices that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, we know that her mother didn't make any sacrifices for her other than giving her up. So, so I don't think she should expect anything. But I know you said you don't know how to feel about it, but after me saying all of that,
yeah, we have some of the same feelings, and I'm kind of twisted on the situation because I've had not necessarily similar upbringing as what Simone had, but at the same time, it's like I have some experiences with what this situation talks about.
right?
And how do I explain this? I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without being too personal.
Yeah.
So I didn't know who my father was for a long time. Well, I knew who he was, but he wasn't around.
Right.
But the moment that I heard that it was when that, Sticks might be going to the NFL. Now my dad want to reach out to my grandma and find out what's going on all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say all of a sudden because it was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was very much all of a sudden because from my whole upbringing, for what I knew, I didn't have a father. I had a donor, but I didn't have a dad. I didn't have a father figure. So all of a sudden now you want to pop up and, he goes to the league, saying, I've been watching him this whole time and I've been keeping up with Charles and I've been keeping up with Sticks and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that doesn't excuse you for the past 22 years of my life, bro.
Right.
So that's why I kind of say all of a sudden. Now, on the side of, mom, I have a little bit more empathy for her because, like you said, she had an addiction. She was an addict. She at the time wasn't a good person. Like you said, she could have possibly been a streetwalker. She could have been doing a whole lot of different things. And the fact that she was, to me personally, the fact that she had the wherewithal to at least foster the kids because she knew she wasn't a good enough parent to take care of these children. So that she had the wherewithal to at least foster them. And God, thank God that her parents, Simone's grandparents, came and said, okay, we're going to take care of these children. Now, from a report that I saw, the report that I read, I didn't like the report because it made it seem like it was all of a sudden. It made it seem like, her mom is broke and she needs some support. That's what the report that I read, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it went so far as to talk about like her credit, what she has in her bank account, what her cars are worth, different electronics and stuff that she has in her possession, like what she's worth and what she owes. She's filed bankruptcy. Like they talked about all of these things in this report. And it made it seem like Simone needs to take care of her mother or Simone owes her mama something. She don't owe Shannon Biles shit.
Right.
She don't owe her nothing. But like D-Lo said though, I can, if I was in that situation, if it was something like, I was in that situation and I didn't take well to it at all. I was opposite of what we're saying Simone should possibly do. But with my dad.
Okay. But that's different though. And then the reason that's different, I'll say, I don't know that situation. I know you well, but I don't know that situation well, right? But the reason that's different is because, and I'm sorry that I cut you off.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But the reason that is different is because, actually, I think it is similar. But the reason it's different is because he had nothing to do with you, while in your upbringing. Like you didn't even really know. Did you ever spend any time with him in your younger years?
Not time. I saw that man 3 times in my entire life.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, at least they don't remember it. Simone and Adria don't remember it, but at least they spent time, from what we know, with their mother before she gave them. Like, she gave Simone and Adria up in their toddler years. So that's why I say it's different. And then but it's their mother too.
And then true, but in the sense of that, my dad gave me up in my toddler years.
Your infant years.
Yeah. Well, toddler, I was, not to get too personal, but yeah. So basically, but I mean, another little tidbit, if this changes your mind about the situation a little bit. My dad was my neighbor. He lived a block from me my whole life.
Yes, You told me that
so you know what I'm saying? So it's like I didn't take kindly to that at all. I wanted to fight Buddy. You feel what I'm saying? Like I wanted to fight Buddy. But
I just think that we view dads and mothers differently in situations like this.
I think me personally, if it was my mom and she lived a block from me, I would want to fight her too. No, I'm just saying, I'm just being real. Because it's like, don't, you know, it does seem very all of a sudden. The feeling is a very all of a sudden feeling for me personally. But I can understand on the other side, it's like I did what I had to do whenever I was going through something.
Yeah.
And the report also that she wasn't, but the report also says that she had been keeping up with her children all the way through their childhood and up until adulthood with her father. But her dad was just like, you ain't right. You ain't well. I'm not letting you do this. You know what I'm saying? Which I commend, which I commend granddad for. I commend him. I commend him for that. And, you know, according to other reports as well, Simone Biles calls her grandparents her parents, like mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different underlying situation here that me personally, I don't think Shannon can come back from. Honestly, but just like Shannon said, it's really up to Simone. Like she's leaving it up to her to say, I want her to come out and say she wants to have a conversation. But last thing I'm gonna pass it back over to you. Shannon has a personal contact number to Simone.
Yeah, but
why not just give her a call, bro? Like if you really want this relationship, if it was me personally, if it was me and my daughter, and I really, really wanted to have a personal conversation with my daughter and I had a phone number to call, I don't give a fuck how awkward or how I would need that closure. I would have to call you and say, hey, I know it's been, say something and give her an opportunity to say, you know what? I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I can have that closure to say she don't want it, or it could go the opposite way. Okay, cool. We're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna mend this situation. I would need that for myself. Everybody ain't the same, but I would, if I had a personal number, I would call.
No, 100%. No, I get that. But who's to say she hasn't done it before, right? And then
true. We don't know the whole backstory. That's right.
Grandfather, as well as Simone, was like, no, not in the right headspace. Let's try this another time.
Yeah,
or whatever the case may be. I'm a person that feels like, depending on the situation, I think everybody deserves a second chance. I'm not saying that Shannon absolutely deserves a second chance here, but she is willing, like you said, all of a sudden, or like everybody's going to say, all of a sudden,
yeah.
But she is willing to try to reconcile with her child, and because she is trying to, she's leaving it up to Simone to determine if that is something that she wants or not. I understand where you're coming from, where you say if it were you have a personal contact to the person that you want to reconcile with, to reach out to them. But I can also
at least in a text or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I also can understand though, where it's like, let me just see if this is something that they actually want. If they want it, they'll come to me on their time, because they have to be in the right headspace in order to deal with this situation. Now, on the flip side of that, I now that we talked this through, I don't like the fact that she did an interview to bring this out.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, well, I did this. It's up to Simone to decide if she wants to. You know what I mean?
Because it just seems weird, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this could have been not talked about, honestly. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like this, because the interview and going on TV and doing that, it seems so like, just for lack of a better phrase, all of a sudden. Like now, you know what I'm saying? Like it seems so weird to me.
It seems
it does. Woe was me. It seems so woe was me.
Me. Okay, I did this. Maybe this will get Simone to forgive me, and Adria to forgive me, and now, we can reconcile our differences for what I did. But I mean, you and I are different type of individuals, and majority of America and those that would have a chance to listen to this podcast are different individuals. You'll do what you need to take care of your children. Luckily, we didn't have those type of addictions to where it made us want to get away from our kids so we can either continue to do that addiction or find a way to get away
from it. Yeah.
Right. But, it's easy to judge on the outside looking in. But like I said, I'm a person that thinks that depending on the situation, everybody deserves a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she doesn't deserve a second chance, but I think they should at least have some type of conversation. And again, I don't tell people how to feel about a situation like this, but if I were her, I would, at least have the conversation. And after that, if I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to deal with her, then it is what it is.
Yeah, because I'm as you know, I'm a second chance giving ass motherfucker, bro. I give a lot of second chances to people, but it is a complex situation, bro. It just depends on how you look at the situation and what your upbringing was and what your experience was and how well you can empathize with the situation. But I'm just torn because I want there to be a relationship. I really do. Mm-hmm. It just but the other side of me that's been through a similar situation is like,
I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have tried, but my situation wasn't exactly that because I did spend time with my biological father. Mm-hmm. We've had occasions where I've been in his presence for not a long time, but for a decent amount of time. Mm-hmm. But tries to reach out here and there, and I don't shoo him away, but it's awkward. It is weird.
Yeah,
because I think he's trying to find a way to connect, and it's not.
There is a disconnect. Yeah,
and so that's what I'm saying. Like everybody deserves seconds. Parents back from when they were separated from their kids, I think they deserve some type of second chance, unless it was just like I can't even think of it. Like the situation you were talking about with your dad. That probably doesn't deserve a second chance, right? But this situation, I know I'm saying she deserves one because of the drug situation, the addiction, and maybe she's clean now, and
it says she is. They say that she is clean,
right? And so,
I wanted to shoot the ones with Buddy Dog. I wanted to shoot for more reasons than just him not being around. Like I have some thoughts in my head about why I wanted to fight him. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that. We've had that conversation too. She does. I think all in all, in my personal opinion, I think she does deserve some kind of reconciliation or at least some kind of closure to where either Simone wants to, have a relationship with her or she doesn't.
Adria too.
Adria too, yeah. But either they want to or they don't. And that's the kind of closure that she definitely deserves. And then she'll be able to move on from whatever, I just don't like the report. The report literally, bro, like the report, half of the report was financial and showing bankruptcy files. It's like, come on, bro. Like that doesn't make Shannon sound any better in the situation at all. But I can see both sides.
It's convenient because she just came from the Olympics, and now you could paint her as a villain or
a hero.